Hey, welcome to Picture Remedy's YouTube channel. So, check it out. I'm Filmmaker P.M. Lipscomb. I've been making movies for 18 years. I've done 3 features and 39 short films. I've got incredible collaborators, people with 20 plus years experience, and it just occurred to me recently that we have so many films we're sitting on. It's time to just put them out to you guys and girls and anyone else who'd like to see them and watch them and hopefully be enjoyed. And every single film that we put out, we're going to follow with a conversation video. And that's what this is right here. So this particular piece is for the movie Hunger, where I get to sit down and talk to the actors I worked with, and hopefully we have some interesting insight that you enjoy. All right? I'm going to get back to working on the next picture. All right, I am so excited. We are here with the cast and the boom operator from Hunger. We got Genesis Orrego Sorto, who played Echo. We've got Speed Ratliff, who played Ernie. And then here's our boom op, Chuck Sutton.
Hi.
So excited to sit here and have this conversation with these guys. We're just going to kind of recount what it was like making that picture with you. So here's how I want to start off. In the very beginning, I had this equipment sitting in my apartment, and Genesis, I wanted to film her and see this image of her and see how the camera was kind of working. And I remember that moment, but what I don't remember is calling you first. Do you remember the first moment you got called about this?
It was supposed to be for something totally different. You know, I mean, I wasn't supposed to even be in it. Remember? And I was going to do some sound, whatever, but it worked out where the person wasn't here or something like that. Because we came in on the spot, we decided to change up where I would play, because Ernie was originally.
I totally forgot there was another person that was originally going to play with you. And then that person didn't want to perform. And then I was like, hey, well, you want to perform. Why don't we put you in the movie? And then that's when you invited your friend to Boom Up.
Right.
And first time I ever met Chuck.
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about your friendship here.
Oh, I've been doing this band for over 40 years and playing music together for a long, long time, and been involved creatively for a very, very long time. And it's a long, long-lasting friendship. I don't have any other friends besides really good ones besides this guy.
You remember the first time you met him? What that was like?
Oh man, we were kids, and I didn't like him.
I was an asshole.
I didn't like him.
I was
a bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
He plays guitar very well. I didn't play guitar very well, but I was just trying to figure it out. And he was like, "You guys suck." So I was like, "Fuck you." And then I kind of stayed for a while until he saw us like maybe a year later or something, and we were getting pretty good. And
you just lost your bass player or something.
Something like that. And he said, "Okay," and I said, "Well,
guitar.
all right, you can play for a little while."
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Then I hounded him for 3 months because he still didn't want to fucking play with me. So. Hounded him for 3 months, and everybody I knew said, "He doesn't want to play with you. Leave him alone." It's like, finally we got together and we did it.
Worked out.
It was just like it clicked immediately.
Yeah. You know, let's recount something really fast. Tell us a little bit about your background, because you were the boom operator on the movie Saw, but you also did 200 other productions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's kind of a myriad thing. I was doing music with Chuck, then I did some acting and wound up doing sound for a film by just serendipity. But a lot of movies. So just in TV shows, it's a myriad of stuff, all kinds of stuff. I learned how to do this on the fly, and it's something I'm good at. I found out.
Do you mind telling us your little Harrison Ford story? Would that be?
Harrison Ford story?
He's got a Harrison Ford story.
Which one? There were a couple. I worked on Hollywood Homicide. That one.
Whichever. Just tell us any of them.
Gosh.
Which one do you want to tell?
Your most memorable one.
I don't know if I could tell that on the air, but
the most appropriate, memorable one.
Okay, all right. Appropriate one. We worked on Hollywood Homicide, and it was right down the street from where I lived, so I could walk to work. And I met Harrison Ford. He was very cool. He's a very cool guy, and he gave me a ride home one day, and that's about as far as I'm going to take it.
Well, wait. Didn't he give you some acting advice? Didn't you talk to him in the car?
Yeah, he told me, he says they pay you to wait. They don't pay you to act. They pay you to wait, because he would sit around all day and not do anything. I was like, Harrison, and he said that's what they pay me. You pay me to wait. So I said, okay, cool. He's cool about it. Very cool guy. Very dope guy.
And through boom opping, like, when did you know that you might have wanted to perform, or did you know that you could possibly act? Because when I've made a number of pictures, and you've been a boom operator on those movies with me.
Yeah.
And you were always my number one guy that would read the script and we talk about what we could cut out or what we shouldn't cut out. But you would express to me at times like, I want to perform. Like,
Well, I started out stage acting.
Yeah.
Did a lot of plays. He showed up for a couple of times, like doing some commercials and stuff, and he was like, "Dude, we got to rehearse." And I was like, "Dude, I'm acting right now." So
She was directing plays in high school.
were
as
you?
well.
Yeah. I started off doing theater. So I guess I had the book
it's
for a long
always
time.
in the theater.
Yeah. So I've had some. That was where my roots were.
And so like, but then that never transitioned into you auditioning for movies, or?
No, the work was just so abundant. I was enjoying the work so much.
The boom hopping. And
Yeah,
stuff, that's why.
yeah.
And then now this is interesting because you wanted to perform, but your background is dentistry, right? So like, how was that suddenly being pulled into this production and kind of almost begrudgingly acting, but yet you did have this creative background in high school?
Well, it's different from being a director of school plays and then having to act in something. So definitely not my field. Definitely not something that I was very let's go for it. Let's do it. I mean, I love how everything turned out though. I'm still very, very critical on how I act and how everything went for me personally. I think everybody did. You did amazing.
Well, they threw you in the deep end because, you came right in and no script, we didn't have structure. We just went by how things happened at the moment. The whole thing came together just on impulse and just the emotion of the time. So you jumped right in the deep end. You did the hardest acting to do is from your gut and not having any structure.
Truly.
You played off of me very well. I was impressed with that. So it kind of worked, and Patrick was guiding us on where we wanted to go with it. And it all sort of just came together, which is amazing because we went in not knowing how this was going to turn out. We didn't have an ending. We didn't know how it was going to turn out.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, in the very beginning, I had access to this equipment, and there was a world where I didn't want to waste the opportunity to play around with the camera and the lights. That's why I'd called you and said, hey, let's do a camera test. I wrote a 5-page screenplay. And it was really just the dinner scene. But then at that first day, we all shot together. The crazy thing was I didn't have a hard drive to capture the material because I didn't know if it was going to be something we'd even want to capture. I didn't want to spend any money on it yet.
Right.
And then after that first day, you could feel the energy.
Yeah.
I was so surprised by your guys' chemistry and all the images. And I remember I was sitting on the chair and I'm like, hey, is everybody available tomorrow by chance? And everybody's like, yeah, I'm available. And I was like, how is that even possible? And I was like, oh, well, let's shoot tomorrow. And that's when we shot the suitcase scene. So in my head, I remember my whole idea about the suitcase scene originally was, okay, we're going to shoot this tomorrow. I want to shoot extreme close-ups of you getting close to the body, and I'm going to intercut it with you making dinner. And I thought that would be an interesting, collision of images.
Right.
So what was that like being, because that full suitcase moment was a 10-minute uncut take that you see 4 minutes of in the movie.
Well, I trust you implicitly. So when I went out not thinking what I was going to do with the body. It's a dead body. Okay, whatever, figure out. But then you whispered, you said, touch him. And it just went click. And I said, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know how I felt about the person. I mean, the body became real to me at that moment. Because it was just a dead body. When you said, touch him. I said, oh, fuck, this is a him. I got it. I got it. Everything just went click. And everything happened organically. Because you gave me that cue, that light to start from. That was just the right thing to say. And it made everything went click. And I knew exactly where I was. I had all these feelings for it. It all worked out. It was pretty intense moment. I know.
Definitely
I didn't know where
seemed
it was
like
going to
you
go.
had a deep connection.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Because you made it personal and you said that. And I said, oh, shit, okay, I get it. So that was just awesome. And, because we were connected like that. That was the one thing that made everything click,
And for you, when you were this movie's put together, it's constructed of these extremely long, uncut shots. And obviously coming into that for yourself, you weren't necessarily looking to act and to be in these moments. What was it like for you in the bathroom sequence? Was that a difficult moment to be in there? And
not necessarily as every female now probably going through it and growing up. It's kind of something that's been unfortunately normal to, it's either you were anorexic, you were bulimic, so you kind of knew where, I knew where to go with it. It was a very deep deep feeling for sure. It's something that definitely hit on a personal level, and so when I saw that scene, it was more something that from experience, which is very unfortunate. But I mean, this day and age, with the stigma, it's it definitely, we can get more into it, but it's a very emotional, touchy scene, but it was definitely something very interesting to have to act out and display. Yeah. And I'm sure, I mean, when we were in there, I don't know how you felt, how it made you feel when having to watch it being performed.
It's so difficult for me on a different scale, because I start looking at the framing. I start thinking about, also like the pace and the rhythm. Even though it's a long shot, you guys were remarkable about keeping a certain pace and rhythm up, which is usually the thing that you don't have in performers unless they've rehearsed and you've worked the material. Yeah. And that's something that really caught me. Like, so going back to the bathroom scene though, like, it was such a beautiful moment in the context of vulnerability. I know that a lot of people feel that you guys might have eaten a body during the dinner and then she's throwing up because some people have commented of that particular. Interesting. But what I like to think about it as is that these people all have secrets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's about the secrets that we hide from one another, even in our friendships.
We're trying to figure this out. It's a real mystery. I mean, what are we about? What's going on here? The whole thing defies expectations. And it's odd how it all came together. It really is.
It's definitely a roller coaster of how both Ernie and Echo's relationship is. Because it first seems like obviously we're very close to the fact that I'm here making you food, we're talking, but then there's a point where it seems like we don't want to, like, one's awkward to be there and the other one hates the fact that they're there, and then it quickly turns to them being like, I love you, and like, we're kumbayaing over here.
I agree. Yeah.
Like, especially from the couch scene. Yeah. Like, it was a very, like, I felt how that was like a very sharp roller coaster.
Well, you were pressing me for stuff I couldn't talk about. You know what I mean? Like, so we're close, but I couldn't talk. And you knew there was something to that. Like, he's not telling me everything. And so, again, it was happening in the moment, too. You're pressing me for stuff I didn't have answers for, which is upsetting me. And that kind of worked with this whole thing, clashing. But I really love you, but so I was kind of like, when you're leaving, it's like this really mournful moment. I want to be in your presence, but I don't, kind of thing. So I had a lot of weird stuff going on there.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was cool.
One thing that would be, first, what was it like boom mopping? Because you boom mopped for the first time ever, right? Because this guy's a professional boom operator, but he had his friend take over this movie.
I had to remind myself I was holding a microphone and I had a job to do because I got caught up in the whole improv of it. It was basically, I didn't hear what you told him, but whatever you told him, it kicked him into a different level as far as the performance, and you could feel the tension getting thicker and thicker in the room until you could have you could have cut it with a very soft knife. it was very thick, but it was like that kind of tension. It was just like, Jesus Christ, it keeps coming and coming and coming, and I'm watching this guy make love to a corpse, which is basically what we were looking to see, which explains a lot later in the scene where he's the self-loathing with the steak in his hand and the whole bit. It's like, this could be him. He's tasty. But it worked out really well. It's just amazing to see that happen. I don't really get to watch him act all that much. He's such a good actor.
Thank you.
Truly.
Thank you.
Here's your Oscar.
Oscar Mayer.
I eat armor.
Well, thanks, man.
What was it like, let's do a little down the line here, and what was it like the first time you saw the finished film? Let's start with Speed. And
I was uncomfortable seeing it. It was extreme close-ups. I wish I had another take. I don't know how I would have done it better. So I think I could have done better. When I think about it, this was one take. But any actor, you think, oh man, if I could do this again, but I don't know, maybe we got magic in a bottle. I don't know, So I was kind of critical. I loved the stuff with our dinner scene together. I love that kind of stuff. For me, the hardest part was watching the opening, and I think that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, it's supposed to be hard to watch, and what's going on here, like that, whatever. So,
why do you feel like it's hard to watch for you? You think?
It's complicated. There's lots of things going on here. My shame, my lust, my anger, all those things were happening, and I felt empathy for the character. I mean, I saw myself as the character, not myself, actually. Because, I had empathy for that character, what was going on here. There was some weird stuff going on there, but then, yeah.
It's true. It is true.
So, yeah, but I enjoyed the whole project. I've seen it all. It came together. I'm surprised it came together. We just went in and, like, what are we doing, dude? It came in really, you did some magic making it make a story there. Kind of wild.
Well, one thing just to mention this moment here is the real truth is that there was such a power in these performances and these people and the moment that we were in. It was Halloween that year. So in the opening, we were having that improv with the body. Right. You can hear Halloween parties going on outside.
Right. That's right.
So that's what you actually hear in that. Even though I did a lot of sound design throughout the picture, that really added a lot of extra stuff. Right. That was in there already.
That's right.
And at first, I was almost disappointed, but then later, it was so interesting to hear because it's you're creepily, sneakily,
Because you and I, we had some lines we were trying to memorize some lines. We were going to lines. We didn't use any of that.
At first, it was a script, and I remember because I have absolutely no experience in memorizing any of this. I remember you were the one, well, both of you actually, but I felt like it was more Speed who was just just go with something. And then once you heard that, you were just just flow. It's just use this as a prompt.
But you did it. Yeah,
the minute it was don't memorize the lines and just make it just use it as a prompt and go with what your gut's making you feel. It just rolled. It instantly rolled. Yeah. And it instantly was just okay, I can read, I can see what's going on. I have the image of what's going on. I can act that, but can I remember? Absolutely. Make it up your own way. It just flew organically from how you came out with what you said, and it just all meshed well and made it so much more easier to go that way.
Yeah. That comes across in the film too. I mean, really, there's a flow there.
I feel in the beginning, you can see the tensity that I had. And that's in the beginning of that dinner scene. And then in the middle throughout, you just see it become organic.
Yeah.
Personally, that's how I feel, how I saw it, because it was during that entire time where I was freaking out practically, and I was just I don't know what to do. What am I supposed? And everybody was super, super calming. I'm the only one over here freaking out, raging, and then you guys are just just summarize it and whatever you feel, do. And you played it off beautifully too. You were in anything I said, instant, bam, bam. It was truly easy.
Good
and
moment.
Wonderful working.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
The chemistry was truly there.
Yeah, good.
Still truly is there.
Yes, thank you.
So what was it like for the first time you saw the film?
Of course I'm critical on myself, and of course, but seeing how it all played out together, of course, just like you said, Speed, if there were some things I could go back in time and do, if I could be if I could have done this, but I'm happy with how it came out. I'm happy with the product, and seeing it for the first time, you're sitting there and you're kind of just that first scene is making you rub your pants, not in a sexual way, but rub your pants, you're grabbing them, you're just oh, you're kind of uncomfortable, obviously, in that first scene. And then just watching how it all flew.
And the music was so good. The music was so good. I was
the music is definitely what made it unnerving.
Wow, yeah.
Because from seeing the making of, because I remember being in the room and, we're all just sitting here watching this intense moment. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's something intense, like from seeing it being acted out and then seeing it all done and edited.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
You said something earlier too, Speed, that was really interesting. You said, you know, you're self-conscious because of the close-ups and that kind of thing. But, you know, I've done this, like, you know, when filming you for, like, you know, we were doing music or you're practicing something, I'd come in close on a camera, and that's where all those little subtle emotions live, is right there. And
Yeah.
those close-ups and the little, you know, twitch in your face and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And it's just, you know, you reveal so much more in those close-ups than you do in the long shots.
Well,
You know,
okay, yeah.
if you just close up.
That's my own vanity trying to get over, you know, but you have to get that out of the way, you know, like that, whatever, and say, this is just what I got with my tool I work with. This is it. You know, got to work with
Now,
that.
here's a
energy
funny
that first
fan
take,
fact. Here's a funny fan fact for the picture, though, is are you disappointed the picture of the cats at the end?
Oh,
Yeah, they're my cats?
yeah.
So are you disappointed that you didn't actually end up getting a picture of your cats for
No,
the movie?
no.
You're fine with
No,
that?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with
They
that.
would
I'm
never
fine, I'm
sit
fine
still.
with that. That's good. No. Yeah. I'm fine with that. They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, here's something to reveal that would be really quite remarkable is there's obviously 4 other chapters to this story. We would learn more about Ernie and Echo and find out more about actually what happened to Jeff. So if there's enough people out there that are interested in seeing more of this tale, would you come back and
That'd
do
be
more
awesome. Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah.
round it out.
yourself? Would you also do it? Would you come back? I know you're I know you work in dentistry, but would you come back and redo Echo? Be in it?
You have to.
I would definitely have to. Especially if Ernie's up for Echo. Is definitely up for making another weird amount of food.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here, a quick question. And what's the last movie you saw in the movie theaters?
Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Oh my God,
Loved
that's a
it.
great
I
movie.
love the best movie. on there.
Tearjerker.
Yeah,
Honestly, that's a great
Brilliant.
one.
that.
Brilliant
I cried.
filmmaking. The
Hell.
filmmaking was excellent. The way the story was,
So good.
everything about the thing was just so stand up. People stood up and applauded at the end of the movie, and I saw it with subtitles at first, and people loved it. They read the movie and loved it. I saw it with the English dub.
We saw it that way too.
What a
yeah,
great
so
movie.
great.
What were they saying? It was a great movie. It just happened to have Godzilla in it.
That's what I yeah that was my take on it.
Yeah, but the
And
Godzilla they
it's
had,
so cheap.
the technology behind the Godzilla was so well crafted.
Yeah.
Like I had never seen the detail in his face
Yeah.
before.
No, he was
you know.
he was the one you didn't like him. He was the villain in this one. Usually you're kind of rooting for Godzilla, but he was they gave him character and gave him anger and you you didn't mess with. I really loved it.
What's the last movie you saw in the theater? Or you said Godzilla -1?
Yeah.
Did you see
same
anything?
thing.
Same thing?
Yeah.
And then what was the last thing?
I saw Terrifier 3.
Oh, Terrifier
So-
3. Have you heard of this movie?
No,
Oh, Terrifier 3 is remarkable. You got to see Terrifier.
It's a very great
the
movie.
first one and Terrifier 2.
Truly, it's a work of art.
what's it about?
You decide.
Okay, all right. Oh,
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's about a killer clown.
Okay.
Check out the trailer. But it's definitely opening a door in indie cinema, and I'm super stoked on it. And I love scary movies.
What's the last movie you saw?
I think it was also Terrifier 3. I mean,
Okay.
going out and seeing these pictures.
Okay.
But yeah, so any other thoughts before we end this part of the conversation?
Looking forward to doing more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to whatever else you create. Yeah. It's
PM.
definitely
PM, you are amazing. You're,
definitely a trip, yeah.
You're amazing. How you
I'll
take
hold the
stuff and you
microphone
mold it
any
into
day for
something. You really do a great job. It's amazing.
At the end of the day, the pieces are made by a whole lot of other people. You know, I feel like a filmmaker is somebody who like pulls together things and builds a collage. Like there's a collage of beautiful essence everywhere, and then
Yeah.
you choose these different pieces and put them together in a particular
But I
order.
get these calls like 10 at night. I'm in the tub, and I have this great idea. I'm in the tub. I have this great idea.
It's always the
I'm in the
tub.
tub. Oh, I just figured out what to do with it. Oh man, your inspiration just hits you like a fire. Like oh man, and I can hear the tub water splashing around. So I go, hey PM. Okay, great. And so it's kind of cool seeing you're on fire about it. I know what time you take a bath because it's great. I'm a bath guy too, so I relate to it. Yeah.
Listen,
Rubber ducky
man, when
involved
you
there.
take a bath, you can reset your whole soul.
Yeah.
So look, stay tuned for more films, and we'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.